Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Righteous Force, 10th Man, Chocolate Sane, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all. And Adam.
Good morning. Hey.
And Adam.
Afternoon, guys.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Morning, Redman. Good to have you all. Any signs of a physical geometric sphere edge, formerly known as Earth curve?
Not from San Francisco International Airport.
From Nottingham.
Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No, we're in the no spin zone.
The no spin zone. Here we go.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
It's over there.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Pre-show had a couple of people talking about doing star trails, so there's hope.
Well,
Hi, Arwin.
Hello, good afternoon.
they keep putting stuff out on these channels that I follow, but they can't prove anything. They're just making stuff up.
There's so much more stuff to make up.
Talking of made-up stuff, any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Adam Meakin made a great animation about it.
I said this
I
yesterday.
didn't
It's in my
make the
intro.
animation. That was stock footage. I'd like to take credit for that, but I can't.
It is the best of the animations in the new intro, I've got to be honest. The molten iron core separating and half of Earth flying away from it. Awesome.
It was that one, Nath, that made me decide the direction I was going when I saw that one. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just exemplify.
It shows the brilliance of the core of your artwork.
Boom, boom.
Hey, Nathan, I was earlier, like an hour ago at least, or 2 hours ago, in the after show chat of this Discord, and somebody tried to tell me, like in a 10-minute read, of exactly how things function inside of the sun with the interactions and the fusion and the mass changes, and like described for like 10 minutes long and how it exactly works. And then I asked, so how did they know that exactly? Did they measure that? It's like the stories they make up.
A really powerful telescope.
Inside the sun, really?
No, you just sit down on your computer
A
at
super
lunch.
telescope.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's true because they made it up themselves.
Yes.
Quick shout out to Anthony. Let's get my mic close to the screen. Is it Ciconte? Ciconte. Don't have to say that, but thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Hey Nate, MC Toon has agreed to debate on modern day debate. Would you take him on? I run a debate show. He's more than welcome to come and debate me if he wants to. Would I go and debate him on modern day debate? No, I run my own debate show with an open link, run daily, publicly available to anyone. So if he wants to debate me, if it's just a suggestion, then thank you very much for the suggestion. But thank you more so for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius? Hey, Neil.
We've been asking him for this, haven't we?
No.
Sorry, Neil, say again.
No, I have no evidence. But don't waste your time with MC Tunes. You'll destroy him.
Like I say, I've got a public link. Anybody can come here. Challenge anything we say.
Well, doesn't MC Toon say science doesn't prove anything?
I don't know what MC Toon says. I don't know MC Toon. My extended knowledge of MC Toon is what Quantum Racer did when MC Toon, Professor Dave, a couple of others did a show together, and Quantum Racer pulled it apart, and I was there when he pulled it apart. That's my sum total knowledge of this dude called MC Toon. Or Toon, or
well,
I gotta take
my
it back.
memory.
He's an okay guy. He sent me a Bible.
Sent you a Bible? That's nice of him.
Yeah.
Wow. MC Toon sent you a Bible. Wow, thank you very much to MC Toon for sending Arwin a Bible.
Yeah. He's
But isn't this
quite
the-
a nice guy for a baller, I think.
Yeah, sounds it.
Is this McToon, the McToon that I'm thinking about?
Yes, McTunes, because Austin says you will never call a guy like that MC. It's McTunes, you're right.
Okay, well, I heard him say that science doesn't prove things. So how do you debate a person who says science doesn't prove things?
Show him a few things that science has proven.
Was it not a bit deeper than that, Tenth? Wasn't it that the spinning ball Earth is proved by science, but science doesn't prove anything?
I kind of remember you talking to him, right, Adam?
Yeah, we had that light debate on Snoozers, me and MC2, and the evidence he brought was a gravity meter.
Gravitometer.
Gravity exists.
Wait a minute.
Meter. It
Wait a minute.
it
Yeah.
measures it.
Hold on. Everyone's
Yeah,
talking at once. Just Adam. Go ahead, Adam. Gravitometer, glorified scale. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so that was his proof that gravity existed, that he had a machine that showed different drop rates.
Wait a minute.
Not that science does prove anything, but that was his proof. It was an odd.
Not science.
No, well, no. But he was quoting that as science, and then after stating something that isn't science as science, went on to state that science doesn't prove anything. Not
Okay, let's
logical.
just clear that up then. So science proves or validates your hypothesis. Your hypothesis is a supposition, an abstraction, if you will. In other words, it's not actual at that point. It's your idea of what causes an effect you've observed. If you perform an experiment, you validate or invalidate, hence the method is empirical, your presumed cause of an effect you observed in nature. If you validate that which you assumed causes the effect to be the effect, you have empirically validated the cause of the effect. Or to put it another way, you prove or disprove your hypothesis when you actualize it with an experiment. So science absolutely proves things. It proves your assumed cause of an effect if you vary it and it causes it. Now, if it didn't prove things, there'd be no point doing it. That's an absurd notion. Of course it proves things. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
You can't test that.
What? You can't test it. We've had demonstrations on screen.
No, but how can you... What? Demonstration on screen, you say?
Yeah, we can show an entropy increase. Obviously, you need a container. It's a necessary antecedent. But our request for a demonstration without the required antecedent of a container, that would be impossible if that's what you're suggesting. Yes, of course.
Right. That was what I was suggesting, yeah.
Oh, ergo, outer space is fake then. So outer space isn't real, Arwin, as a consequence of that declaration that you just made? No outer space then. Need a container for gas pressure.
Well, space as in an outer vacuum of space that is very vast. No, that's not going to work. But who knows what is up there?
Oh, I watched something absolutely excellent yesterday. I watched Rob Ager, who's Collative Learning. So subscribe today to Rob Ager. Excellent channel. Does movie reviews. He did an extended first level analysis of 2001, the surface level narrative. And he's going through it and talking about what your first impressions as an audience member, if you don't study the more deep levels of the movie and the reading between the lines, if you will, to keep it simple. And throughout the movie, he's addressing things and he sounds like Dilly Gill. He's pulling apart the continuity errors in 2001 in exactly the same way that Dilly Gill pulls apart the NASA narrative. Identical. He's just pulling apart all the continuity errors, how things shouldn't work, how the stars are moving in one direction in one shot and the other direction in another, how you've got cameras juddering when they're filming models, all of the little subtleties that NASA get wrong are in Kubrick's movie got wrong also. And he can't quite put two and two together, the narrator, Rob Ager, in this instance, right? And I watched this analysis at about 1 a.m. and left a comment. And I said words to the effect of, wouldn't it be interesting if you did the similar analysis on some of the NASA movies? And he got back to me almost immediately, and I think he's in this country. Anyway, he got back to me 1:30 in the morning and was like, look, I've looked at the NASA stuff. The tapes have all surprisingly gone missing, and there's loads of people debating moon landing, so it doesn't really interest me that much. And I said, well, would it interest you to know that the distances to the stars and planets that you've claimed in your video when talking about the actual planets and stars in our solar system are utilising Kepler's third law of interplanetary motion based on an assumption by Christian Huygens that Venus has the same assumed R value as the Earth. Also, you can't have gas pressure without a container. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space. Now I thought, I'll watch the rest of his video and then go to bed. But I refreshed my comment and he replied again. He's like, isn't gravity holding the gas pressure between us and the sky vacuum? I'm like, no, quote George Musa, gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force, total doublespeak, gravity is not a force. And then I quoted Brian Cox. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Brian Cox. And then said, no, you can't overcome entropy, regardless of you bending conceptual mediums. So I didn't actually get back. It was like 3 a.m. by the time I watched the end of his hour and a half, whatever it was, analysis, that's the word. But it made me chuckle to the point where I spent the entire evening when I could have just gone to bed. I had no actual work to do. I'm not editing any YouTube videos last night. But I sat up and watched it purely because it made me chuckle so much, because of the way he analysed all of the continuity errors in 2001. And there's such a comparison, there's such a parallel between that and the actual stuff they claimed from space. It surprised me that Rob Ager was responding. I've never had any interaction with him. I mean, it's not that I'm surprised. Obviously, I've left comment, but for him to reply and then have a little narrative about gravity, his illusion that we have bending concepts giving rise to forces that can overcome entropy, is just standard fare. But it was nice to actually have a little interaction and think in the back of my mind, hopefully, with a little bit of luck, I've planted a seed in Rob Ager's mind in regards to the sky vacuum not being real, when he's detailing Kubrick and having the guy try and get back onto the ship when Hal's locked him out and he has to go through a vacuum. And, he's detailing how they did a test on a guy, this is Rob Ager, and saying that there was a NASA test where a guy survived for about 2 minutes in a vacuum without anything to protect him. But he was unconscious within 15 seconds. And he points out that, when he leaves the pod to get back into the ship, he's got the handle and closed the airlock within 6 seconds. I'm thinking you're detailing in detail about how the narrative within these containers, these ships, are working, and how the vacuum's going to be very deadly. But yet at the same time, he's showing pictures of Earth, just like NASA do, in the 2001 with clouds, and there's obviously a spaceship model next to this CGI picture of Earth, and it's got clouds, and then there's the black bit that he's been detailing us how dangerous and bleak it is because it's so deadly, because it's a vacuum, but there's Earth with its clouds moving around, and you're like, yeah, you haven't quite put two and two together yet, have you, Rob? But on the other hand, you're a normal guy in that regard. You probably had one step over a normie in regards to your understanding of the NASA moon landings and potential discussions about it. But it just amused me how closely related the continuity errors in 2001 and the continuity errors in NASA are. They're just so similar. And even the analysis of them was so similar to a comparable YouTuber who's detailing the real fakery over and above the continuity errors in a movie. But just brilliant. Anyway, check it out. It's the most recent Rob Ager video on collative learning, and it is specifically titled 2001 A Space Odyssey something. Anyway, check it out. Collative learning, Rob Ager. Shout out to you. Excellent videos. Love your channel.
Wait until the penny drops on the black swan.
Yeah, he did have things like that in there as well. In the same video, he's talking about what is effectively the edge of the sphere, and I thought, you got to pick your subjects, and an all-encompassing debunking of the juxtaposition between 2001 and the space reality that we're sold on TV is the sky vacuum, and that was the thing he detailed in the most part. So there were, for me, in the comment, there's obviously temptations to cover everything, and just sort of sandblast the guy with all sorts of stuff that he's assuming in his comparative narrative between a fake film and reality. He's talking about gravitational lensing and time dilation, all these kind of things he's talking about when he's comparing the fakeness of Kubrick with the reality, in quotes, of space. It's like what a chuckle. Anyway, enough about Rob.
Well, that last question, housekeeping, is also true in reverse. You can't even have a vacuum without a container. We can't demonstrate a vacuum without a container.
I just like how we can have 10 to the minus 7 or 6 or 8 or something around that number here, with like 3-foot rebar, concrete reinforced steel doors, and massive containment measures to stop any gas getting into the vacuum, to create that sort of level of vacuum on Earth, just against what is it, relatively high pressures in reality when you're comparing it to 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuums. It's massive amounts of pressure that we're actually under. And so to assume that this bending of a concept can in any way overcome entropy is just absolutely preposterous. But yet most people, most normies especially, if you ever put that question to them, that would be their first response. Well, surely gravity's holding it here. Like, no. That was the other thing I wanted to get into in the comments. Like, what about the water cycle? Gravity's not holding things. That's down, right? Well, gas is going up. But again, I didn't want to debate the guy. I just wanted to plant the seed.
It was funny the other day.
They're also asserting gravity, right?
Hold on, Neil. Go ahead, Paul.
It was funny. Zanuck was saying it was weight that was holding the water in the cup. But if you think about it, the water evaporates. So why didn't the weight keep the water in the cup over time? Right?
Gas law.
You know what I'm saying?
Gas is expanding freely and randomly in all directions at high speed. Once it's been liberated, once that phase change occurs, as Adam detailed yesterday so eloquently, it's just going to move its way up or bounce off something and maybe come back down. Sometimes they do that too if they hit another molecule.
Well, so water weight can hold down a solid and a liquid, but it doesn't have anything to do with holding down a gas, right?
No. The gases are generally produced at ground level and working their way up, not down, go boom boom with gravity.
But hold on. Weight technically doesn't hold down anything. That's gravity type of thinking. Nothing being held down.
That was my question.
Relative density that's making it go into its relative density equilibrium direction.
Right on.
Nothing being held. Sounded like being held down, go boom boom.
Yeah, it's relative density. Obviously, once the gas particles have been liberated, they're going to be far less dense than they are when they're all bonded together closely as liquid. So therefore, it's far less dense and makes its way up because it's less dense. It's just that simple.
The butane is heavier. It's heavier not because of relative density. It's because it's more dense.
Ah, what a classic comment. Redneck retard.
Sounds like renewables.
John Neil.
No, that was my question. When they assert weight, they're actually saying gravity.
Yeah, they're invoking gravity immediately when they say weight. That's correct. Downward vector, gravity, go boom boom, etc., etc.
So I guess when the doctor says what's your weight? I'll say, you mean my gravity?
Well, you can give it in newtons, so that wouldn't be an inaccurate thing to say. They'd probably think you're a ponce.
So would the
Pounds.
opposite of weight be lift? Like how much lift does a helium balloon have?
Mostly down.
What's a ponce?
Just like somebody's using... I think I've used the wrong word, actually. I don't think ponce is the right word. I just meant like toff. You know, somebody's like using posh words just for the sake of it.
Because 12 ponces is a pound.
I think that's a baker's dozen, isn't it? Oh, that's 13. Moving on, swiftly. It's just, you know, using a word that's unnecessarily complicated.
Well, I wanted to draw a conclusion to you need a container to show a vacuum here on Earth. Take all the air out. You need a container to have gas pressure, all the air in. Now, their go-to word is gravity, to do all. So if they can't show me a vacuum without a container, how does gravity provide that, since it's supposed to do everything else when the two are next to each other without containment?
Well, you can't. You can't have gas pressure without a container. You can't have gravity without a container. Containers are the necessary antecedent. Without the container, there can be no pressure. End quote. Conspiracy Cats, 2019.
Hey, Nathan.
Hold on 1 second, Arwen. Did you want to say something, Drunken Bullet?
Nah, man, you're going quite well yourself.
Oh, Arwen?
Yeah, I just wanted to share a heliocentric little factoid that I picked up on also this morning. Did you know that the sun, because of nuclear fission of all the hydrogen gas inside that creates the light that reaches us, the sun loses enough mass every year of an entire Earth worth? Oh.
I love when you go into the sci-fi voice. It's awesome.
Wait a minute. Let's think about.
And I was like, okay, how did you weigh that? No,
Well, wait a
they
minute,
calculated it. They calculated it with a giant amount of presuppositional calculations.
Told you already
Wait a
in this
minute.
show that it's true because they made it up themselves.
Well, I was going to ask the question: if the sun is losing mass, and they say mass attracts mass, and the amount of mass, you know, is a factor. So wouldn't the gravitational pull be lessening on the sun if we're losing mass?
No, because you're mixing up two different things. Mass attracting mass is 100 year out of date rhetoric.
Hold
Cavendish,
on,
CV
you're
Boys,
right.
Reverend John Michell, Cavendish, as opposed to bending of conceptual pseudo-Riemannian force-space time.
You're right about that, Nathan. But they actually argued for that and said that that is the reason the sun then expands into a red dwarf and bigger until, seriously, because it loses mass because of the fission that happens. They say this. It's just like...
Yeah, I know they say it. They say it's losing massive amounts of weight. Well, okay.
Right, and that's why it expands. The volume becomes bigger and the mass becomes less until something happens, and then it says boom.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why.
And then
the boom creates such a gravity well that the black hole forms.
Just told you why. They made it up themselves. That's why.
I still think it's a fascinating...
Hold on. Just 1 second. I'll just shout out Rakia Life. Shout out to Rakia Life. Shout out those first gas particles that said, no, I will not fill the available volume. Rakia Life. Thank you very much indeed for the very sizable super chat, Rakia Life. Really appreciate your support. Hold on. Mole Man, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions for Arwin about the relative density thing, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Arwin, we talked about it the other day, and what would you say weight is? Is that due to relative density also?
Yes, weight is an extrapolation based on a set anchored version of relative density.
Yeah,
Basically
because I was
between
just wondering, like,
atmospheric
if
pressure
I
at the ocean level.
okay, I was just wondering, like, if I have, let's say, I have a kilogram of nails and a kilogram of feathers. They both weigh the same, but the density is different.
What kind of a question is that?
Like, well, okay, I have like a kilogram of ice on a scale, and then I put another kilogram of ice also over there. The weight is going to change, but the density remains the same.
Yeah, but it's both still going to be more dense than the air that surrounds it. So it's still going to push downward and cause
Yeah,
that
but
weight.
it's pushing down twice as hard, but the density remains the same.
How do you qualify density? Because currently the definition is mass per unit volume. Well, what's mass?
Yeah,
What's mass?
amount of matter, I would say.
That's mole.
Huh?
That's
Did you ask
mole.
what's mole?
The amount of substance in something is defined as mole.
Yeah, like a mole of carbon weighs 12 grams, or has a mass of 12 grams at least. That's what I
The amount
see.
of stuff in something is my point. Mass is undefined.
Mass.
Okay, so
So when you say mass per unit volume, there's a problem there. What's mass? Can we move on?
well,
Arwen's not going to give you the answer to this. I can just let you know that straight away because of this inherent problem, which I've just detailed. We could argue about this indefinitely, but just take it as read, please.
yeah, but I'm
Could
just
I answer
wondering
his
what's.
questions, Nathan?
Hold on one
Let's
second.
just-
Go ahead, Brian. Was that Brian or someone else?
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, it was me. Yes, yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you, Nathan. The question he asked first about defining weight concerning density. An object's weight is defined by its inherent density within its volume. Would you agree with that?
Me?
Yes, you. You want
Yeah,
me to repeat
density
it?
and volume play a role on weight, so yes.
Yeah, but its inherent density within its volume. The amount of density found within the volume of an object. Would you agree with that? Defines its weight.
Well, depends, like, if I have, well, yeah, sort of like the ratio between density and volume dictates it, right? This is lagging quite a bit. I can't hear you.
He hasn't said anything yet.
Isn't this called volumetric
Hold
mass?
on, hold on one second.
Hang on one second.
Hold on. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you, Nathan. The amount of matter within your body, let's just say your body is the volume and the matter is the density. The amount of matter within your body, which is the volume, defines your weight, does it not?
The amount of matter.
Yes, and the amount of matter within an inch cubed piece of steel defines the weight of that piece of steel. Yes,
Yeah, matter
isn't that true?
is weight. Yeah, mass is weight.
We won't go into mass, right? But we call it matter.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay,
an
you can call it
object's weight is defined by its inherent density within its volume, the amount of matter found within the volume, or the confines of that object, the outside confines of that object. So are we on the same page there?
Yeah, well,
Do you agree with that?
I don't know. Well, sort of, yeah, but I mean, I can compress myself to a smaller volume, but my weight would still stay the same.
Well, it depends on what you are. You can't the point I'm making is it doesn't matter the size of the volume. It matters the amount of matter within it that defines the weight of that object.
Yeah,
You're still going to be the same weight if you make yourself half the size and compress the matter. You're not going to change in weight.
Yeah, that's like I think what we call mass, the matter.
Well, as I said, we'll avoid mass for the moment. Just stick with the word matter for the moment. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because as Nathan says, mass is undefined. Okay. So,
Yeah, so
I just want to know, like,
amount of
are we on the same page? Sorry, talk away there.
yeah,
Saying something.
yeah, amount of matter dictates the weight. Plus,
Yes.
of course, there's buoyancy and things like that
No,
that play a
as
role.
soon as you- no.
Yeah,
buoyancy is different.
Hold on. No. Buoyancy is immediately invoking gravity also.
Could
Buoyancy?
I ask a question on that same vein then? Why do you feel the need to differentiate between weight and mass? And what do you think the differential is?
Well, you can, like, if I weigh myself on the equator and I weigh myself on the North Pole, I have a different weight, but I haven't lost anything or lost anything. So,
what purpose then are you creating a differential? For what reason do you need to define weight and mass as different things?
because I can weigh two things at different locations on Earth and they weigh different amounts, even though there's no change in the substance itself.
And you still weigh.
So
now I'm asking, why do you feel the need to convert to mass? You're alluding there. The reason you're wanting to convert to mass is to presuppose that the weight has two components, both mass and a gravitational force, which is an assumption because all you can do is take weight and backwork things. So why would you need to differentiate between weight and mass? What's the purpose of needing to do so? As a chemist,
because we know that they're different. We know they're different.
Well, we don't know the difference. You don't know what mass is. You can only ever calculate it after you've weighed something.
Yeah, but we know that matter, like if you have a kilogram of something, it depends on where you are on Earth. The weight depends on that. So it's the amount of matter is not directly weight.
Hold on.
No. Yeah, but you're inferring then gravity straight away when you're thinking that there's a difference in
There's
weight.
other factors at play as well.
You're not taking another factor.
Hold on. There's three people talking. Just Adam and Moleman, please.
Yeah, like I said, yes. So you've got the observed phenomenon that you've got the same object weighs different things in different places. But why then do you want to convert that weight into something? Is that the only reason you can do it is to assume that the reason for that is because of gravity. You're wanting to re-express that weight as a function of both mass and a directional force. Now, you're doing that so you can assume that there's a different directional force in the different locations, but you've not ascertained that it's this force that's there. There could be numerous other factors at play that are affecting what you weigh.
Yeah, and that actually is my question to Arwin. What's his answer to it?
What?
Hold on.
Go and have a look at Zachary Zaballer's work.
Hold on. Adam, can you just pass the baton back to Arwin now?
Yeah, of course. Arwin, tag.
I kind of lost track. Like, what's the question again?
Like, okay, let's say I have a kilogram of gold, let's say, and I weigh it in equator, and it weighs a kilogram, and I weigh it in North Pole, and it has a different weight. Even though if the air pressure is the same, humidity is the same, every other thing is the same.
Yeah, that's incorrect. I think all that won't be the same. That's your answer. Very likely that is your answer.
I've never seen any.
How did he validate?
Hold on. Hold on. Just Brian and Moleman. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you, Nathan. This is what I was trying to answer there earlier.
Not the question.
If you're at the equator, right? What does the equator get more of than any other part of the world? Sunshine. So it's going to have a less density to its air. Not what I mean is that there's going to have more rising air than any other part of the world because it gets more sunshine and more heat than any other part of the world. So you're going to have a less amount of the amount of push down because of gas pressure on any object there will be slightly less. So if you're finely weighing something and there's a very small finite difference from the equator to the North Pole or any other part of the world, the reason is not because of centrifugal force or whatever, because of the out rotation or any of the rest of it. It's got to do with the sun and the amount of sunshine that that part of the world gets, which means it's going to have, because heat makes air less dense. Okay, heat makes air rise, so you have more rising air there. So there's less push down of air pressure onto an object, so it has less weight on the weighing scales.
Right, why are we justifying this though? What's your claim? I know you've made it 3 times, and I know it's a lead into the Etvos effect, but what exactly are you proposing that this proves?
No, I'm just asking from Arwin.
No. What do you propose that this claim that you've made 4 times, that you weigh something in one place, it's one thing, you weigh it in another, it's another. What are you claiming that proves?
Yeah.
Hey, quantum erasure.
Nothing. I'm asking why does that happen?
But why?
I'm not.
Why? That's my point. So, okay.
I don't think it does.
Hold on. Let me just make my point. So we have premature sycamore pollination in the north of England. How do you explain that on the globe?
I have no idea what that means.
So therefore, the Earth is flat then?
Well, could be. I'm asking how these things work on a flat Earth.
But just random.
Well, you're making a claim.
Yeah, exactly. You're
the one making the claim. Go show us your weight different from the equator and the North Pole. You made the claims. Go show us. Number 2, mass isn't weight, even in your paradigm. You said that a few minutes earlier. You've contradicted yourself like 15 times already.
How?
How? Mass isn't weight, even in your paradigm. Do you want me to send it to you in Braille and shove it up your friggin' 4th point of contact?
I never said that mass is weight, though.
You said, yes, you did. I heard you.
Quote me. Please quote me.
I did. It's on this show.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
did. It's
watch
on this
the
show. We'll
video
pull it
from
out
YouTube
for you.
later.
Mass is weight. What does this have to do with your fairy tale gravity anyway?
Exactly, that was my point.
Nothing.
What's the point of all this?
I'm just. I didn't know that we can't ask about your idea of how things work. I thought that we can.
Right, our idea.
I try to answer it. My answer is I don't think it does. Simple
but
as
why?
That. I don't think that's
My
real.
point is, what does it prove or disprove? So let's say Arwin gives you the most concise explanation ever, or a detailed explanation for your claim that you have this Etvos effect. Well, what's that going to achieve? At the end of it, what does it achieve? What's the claim? What's the support? What was the point of the claim? That's what we're asking.
So I'm just interested in the subject. Doesn't prove anything to me. It's just it doesn't make sense now. So I'm trying to make sense of it.
Good, but while you're doing it, you're inferring gravity left and right, and that's what we're addressing. But you're like, oh, I'm just interested in what you think in terms of how it works. When you challenge Arwin to explain an effect you claim happens and haven't in any way supported, i.e. you weigh something one place, you weigh it another and they're different. Number one, that's a claim you're making, and you're asking Arwin to explain it. But for what? To what avail?
Well, I can find evidence for it. That's good.
For what? Why? If I find you evidence for this premature sycamore pollination in the north of England, will that satisfy you?
Sorry, but I don't know what that means.
Or what relevance it has, or what importance or significance it has. Yeah, that's my point. Who cares?
Evidence for what?
Exactly.
What was his evidence? Evidence for what? You didn't say what the evidence was for yet.
Earth spin.
Me?
Earth spin.
No, I heard someone asks evidence for things weighing different amount of different parts of the Earth, and that's what I can look for evidence.
Yeah, let's see it first. We want different places on the Earth, and we want all the pedigree data. That is the air pressure at each place, right? We want all that pedigree information with it. So when you get that, go ahead and come back. And then when you provide evidence for something, please tell us what you're providing evidence for. Thanks.
Okay, I'll come back with the evidence if I find it.
That would be
Bye.
cool because I've heard that nonsense a few times and I've never seen it. So that would be
Friggin'
cool.
at boss effect. Betty pummeled that shit like 2.5 years ago. We're just going round and round and round. Right?
Boy, I missed you, Kiwi.
I can check for evidence. I'll be back.
Check for evidence of what?
Yeah, I keep asking him. Do you know what this is supposed to prove or disprove? What's your claim?
My claim is that things have a different weight on different parts of the Earth, and I want to know the reason.
I see. My claim is that we have premature sycamore pollination in the north of England. Who cares?
Okay.
Wait, but does he even understand why he's asking? Do you understand why that question is being asked?
No, he doesn't.
Do you understand what the argument is supposed to be on that side with concerning this question?
No, he doesn't. No.
Are you even aware?
He has no idea.
Well, I mean, I'm
So
asking.
then why
what
does it
is
even
weight
matter?
and-
He doesn't know why it matters. He doesn't know why he's asking us. We know why he's asking
What?
us. He doesn't. We
Okay.
know.
No,
We've said the effect.
I'm not trying to get a.
He's not actually mentioned the name of the effect that should lead on for this in his argument, but he hasn't got there, which means he doesn't understand why he's arguing it.
No, I'm just trying to get to what the Arwen's idea of weight is.
Wait. Why are you getting to
Wait.
his idea? Wait, it's your definition, your paradigm. Why are you asking Arwen? Do you want us to replace it? Replace your fairy tale with something else we just make up? Is that what you want?
Maybe we could just skip ahead and just tell him
No.
exactly why that's supposed to be an argument.
No.
No?
Say that again, Quantum Racer. Just say that. Can you repeat yourself, please? Oh, we could have a few seconds of dead air. That's just as good.
I thought my internet cut out for a few seconds there.
Why did he bring in buoyancy?
Because that's just what he learned.
Because they need buoyancy. It's the only physicality that they can give to a belief of gravity.
So
Sounds to
doesn't
me
that
like he's
explain
trying to
why
trip
he
up
asked the
Arwen.
question?
He doesn't know why he's asking this question. Presumably he's heard other people talking about it. He's saying he's asking about weight, but he doesn't know why he's making the assertion without any evidence that he's got different weights at different locations. He doesn't know what that proves. That's why he hasn't got there.
Wait, maybe he tried to ask me a question. Maybe I can ask him a question now, if that's okay with everyone.
You can, but Quantum Racer didn't repeat what he said, and I was really hoping he would. The point of all this is that he's asking you, Arwen, for a just so story, right? He's saying, what's your explanation for this? That's the point of this. And Quantum Racer's question was, why are you asking for this? Is it because you want a new replacement just so story from us, mere mortals? All right, okay. Why? So suddenly our standard, is your standard just so stories? Is that the standard? And if we've got a convincing enough just so story for this particular element that's claimed to be gravity in a certain paradigm, that's going to be accepted because ours is a really good just so story and theirs isn't quite so good because we've picked holes in it. It's like, what's this deal with needing new just so stories?
Maybe he's hoping that I will improve upon their model by accident.
That's you deluding yourself that they need your information to keep their model alive.
They do.
3 years you've had this fantasy, Arwen. 3 years.
Yeah, and look at how much of it already has come true.
Give me 5 examples.
That's not fair.
That's not fair. See how much of it's come true so much. It's infinite the amount. Give me 5. That's not reasonable.
But the amount, come on, there are some issues going on there. You know, the atmosphere getting now supposedly reaching onto the moon and all that. So they're adapting, right?
You think that's because of you? Hold on. You think that's not because of Quantum Eraser?
Well, I was recommending that
Let's
3 years ago. I was literally openly recommending it to the baller community. You need to figure out an outer gas universe because you can't overcome this issue, not even by presupposing gravity is a force.
Right,
I
two
just heard
things.
my name. What's up?
Number one, that was dealt with in the 90s. It just hadn't been utilised in their narrative until now. So when they dug it out in recent times, they're cross-referencing something that they discussed in the 90s in terms of moving out the Tor values. That's not a recent addition. It's just nobody had ever highlighted it until now. So you can't really, unless somebody's back-engineered that nonsense into the internet. That seems very conspiratorial, though.
I heard my name. What's up? Sorry, I'm in and out.
Owen took credit for them pushing out the Tor values, and I'm like, number one, that was done in the 90s, and number two, if anyone's going to take credit for that, it'd be Quantum Eraser for his "how can you have gas pressure without a container" argument.
Oh.
But who, other than giving props to somebody for having this argument, you can't really argue that it's anyone's if it was already either foreseen by their side and then dealt with in the 90s, buried until it was required. That's how it seems to me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the argument?
What was the argument? I think Arwin was saying that there's so many things that have changed as a direct consequence because he's got this fantasy that one day he'll be paid $1 million to save the heliocentric model with some of his nonsense. He's had that fantasy for like 3 years now. I'm just detailing it because he's held on to this fantasy for such a long time. At the beginning, he's like, he put it up as like a ransom. I know how to save the heliocentric model and I will only accept €1 million.
That's not true. It's 6 million euros.
I knew it was higher. I knew it. I thought it was 5 million, but I thought, no, if I say that, I'll sound absurd.
The 6 million is significant, okay?
It's not 6,600,000 and so on
No,
and so forth.
no.
Well, there was a $6 million man. So.
Oh, here we go.
Million has 6 zeros. You don't need all that.
That's wonderful. Let's get back to some substance. How's it been going after my hiatus here? I mean, man down, dudes. Man down.
Man down. What's up, man? Welcome back.
What's up?
Sky, relatively speaking.
Close out the show early and stuff. I'm trying to listen on the internet on my phone. Let's round up. No, let's not round out. Let's keep going.
Okay.
I thought you got caught in a hurricane where the winds were moving straight.
Yeah, straight line winds. Yeah, that's what I got caught in. Friggin' pretzel trees. Straight line. Yeah.
They were whipped up by not actual forces, don't you know?
With the Coriolis effect, the damn thing.
Yeah, we need to do something about those not actual forces, pesky pseudo forces causing all these winds.
Man down, dude. You guys just keep on rolling along. Nothing happened.
I just thought of something. So the Coriolis effect is a not actual force that you can think of it as a force. Come on now.
There we go. Again.
Yeah, you can think of it as WC, the walls of the container. That's the
I missed that, man. I missed it.
Or the force of Valve. If you M. Scott Veach,
I was just going to say Valve.
Force of Valve.
Thank God for the valve.
Oh, did you hear was I chopping real bad when I came in yesterday?
Yeah, it was awful. You're much, much clearer now.
Yeah, because I'm on my computer. I just got power, and then the internet came on, thank the Lord. Friggin', there was two things. Number one, the Predator said, want some candy? You guys forgot that the other day. And number two, with equilibrium, you got to be real careful because you got to describe the context you're in, because in chemistry, the forward reaction and the reverse reaction, that's how they define equilibrium when they're the same, but you don't have to have the same amount of products and reactants on either side of that reaction. You follow?
I do. I think we were talking about hydrostatic equilibrium.
I don't even know what you guys were talking about. I think equilibrium came up a number of times. I don't think it was.
It was a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Right, we
There's
ended
a
up in
number of
the.
other things that were screwed up. I didn't write them down. I should have wrote them down. I had a whole list.
Oh, was
Right.
I guilty of any of the errors?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's all right then.
That only leaves the panel.
Oh no, there was one. Hold on a second.
Oh, here we go.
Where's righteous
And
force
with
at?
that, I'll say a huge. Sorry, go on.
Was there a conversation between righteous force and 10th? I don't know what day was that. Was that yesterday?
It was aired yesterday. It was actual the day before.
Ah, so righteous said that. Is righteous around?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one stood out to me. You said something to the effect that the Lord doesn't know the beginning from the end. It just said he declared it. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's what
Yes,
it
he
says.
did.
Before
Yeah,
you
he
can
did, yeah,
declare
get him.
something from the beginning. Hold on a second. Before you can declare something from the beginning to the end, don't you have to frigging know it?
You got supporting scripture for that?
Don't listen to my question. If I'm able to declare something from the beginning to the end, don't I have to know it before I can declare it?
No.
Of course you do. Don't be silly.
Look at
Aaron.
ballers. They declare all kinds of things and they don't know shit.
Hold on a second, I want to take a back seat. Don't I have to know something first before I declare it?
Yeah, righteous. Don't you have to know something
Wait.
first before you declare it?
You're using a different context. We're talking about. I know you're taking it in a different context. I know what you're talking about now, but that wasn't the context we were talking about it.
All right, I just caught little pieces of it. You may be right.
Because
No, you said that you think God looks at a crystal ball, and then I had a little laugh at the way you were describing it.
I use that as how people used to describe, because people think that the creator, he can look into the future and then see what's going on and then come back and say, oh, this is what's going to happen. So that's why I use the crystal ball analogy. I'm not saying that's what he does.
Let me ask you a question about the creator. Let me ask you a question about the creator. Does he ever have to learn something?
You're finished.
Would he?
Yep.
Does the creator have to learn anything?
In what context? Like
all contexts.
Does the creator know ignorance? How about that?
Armin, please.
Well, there's a scripture where the creator says, like, when they were making sacrifices and stuff like that, like sacrificing children and stuff like that, the creator says, nor did it enter my mind.
So you're using scripture.
So that means he never even thought about it. Like,
oh my gosh.
Go on.
So I regret making man. Excuse me, let me cough.
Okay.
He repents.
I repent that I ever made man. Does the creator regret actually making us?
Isn't that like...
The answer is no.
You're trying to now get into the minds of the creator? You realize this is like asking the same question. Does your did your
grand... You're going on mute because you just disrupt.
Thank you very much, Righteous.
Did Jesus ever say it?
Armin,
Everyone
please.
just clear the airwaves just for 2 minutes. Just for 2 minutes. Go ahead, 10th. Go ahead, Righteous.
I am the door. Is he a door? I am the bread of life. Is he a bread of life? I mean, is he a loaf of bread? Excuse me.
No, we have keys for things like this that give us the context.
Right.
So you got to have the whole context of the whole book.
Fine. So I could read Isaiah 46, verse 9 and 10. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there's none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, from the ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
All right, let me rebuttal quick.
I, as a man, can declare we're gonna have a barbecue tomorrow, but as a man, I can't guarantee that's gonna happen because it could be a tornado that puts an end to that. But when God declares something, it is written, His voice shall not. I mean, His word will not return void. So when God declares something, it happens.
Well, I'm not arguing that. The point is, God says, I am the beginning, the end, the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last. It's a reference of knowing everything. And as
It's a broad.
hang on, as Quantum Eraser says, you have a big obstacle. You can't declare something unless you know it. And you stumbled on that.
That's a broad stroke saying, and you're inserting all kinds of things into something broad
I'm
stroke.
Broad
saying,
stroke?
no,
No.
hang on.
It's
My
literal.
2 minutes, please. If I say I'm having a barbecue tomorrow, I'm declaring it today, a day in advance. I don't know what's going to happen between today and tomorrow as a man. You're saying God's the same way?
No, you're taking that like not in the context I had it. The context I had it in is with God's word. When He declares something, it is written, His word is not returned void. So it has to happen.
Agreed.
But
What
that's
has that
not
got
because
to-
He looked in the future and said, "Oh, today is going to be a sunny day, so it'll work out."
What we're
so I can
talking
declare
about-
it. That's not.
Yes,
that's
hold
different.
on a second. What is prophecy? Define prophecy.
Thank you.
Well, what is prophecy?
Yeah.
Well, tell me.
What do you mean? I'm asking you.
All right. The way prophecies work is He declares something and it has to happen.
Yeah, so He knows it. He's seen it already.
No, you're just adding that.
No, I'm not.
Where does He say He's seen that happen? And then I'm gonna.
When He says,
wait a minute.
Alpha and
Ask me what
Omega.
no means.
In other words, you
What
want
does
to
no
declare.
mean?
It says three
What does
people
no
talking.
mean?
Hold on, just
Hold
Arwin.
on. When you look up no in the Bible.
Hold on, Righteous. Arwin, can you repeat yourself?
When He declares Alpha and Omega throughout all time. That's basically saying, yeah, I know it all. You could also see this situation from another perspective. When He supposedly says something and it has to happen, maybe it doesn't happen because He says it. He simply is pointing out what is going to happen since He is conscious of all things throughout time. Have you ever considered it from that
You're
perspective?
just adding that. That's not scripture.
No,
And when
it's
you look,
Alpha and
let me
Omega,
finish.
the declaration.
Okay, you guys are all like
declared
five
it.
on me. I can't do this like
declared it.
this. Like
You
there's
have to
Paul,
draw the
there's
natural
John, there's
consequence from His
no, this is not happening.
No, it's not
You can round
happening.
out the
It's not
show.
happening.
Come
It's not
on.
happening.
You can round out the show, Nathan.
You're all ganging up on Righteous Force. It's not very fair.
Yes, I agree. Leave righteous alone. These are arguing on the same.
Like I have a reply from one person, and another person jumps in, and now I gotta have a reply from him, and I'm never getting my replies out.
You're basically getting muted all the time, aren't you? It's an outrage. With that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you tuned in live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 Premiering stream. Live stream. If you are watching on the Nathan Oakley Premiering stream, stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Another massive thank you to today's Discord and G Plus panels for making this live show possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching on the Premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!